Here's the thing, man. Dreams have an expiration date. Dreams are either growing into plans or they're withering into regret.
Ooh, let's say that one more time. Dreams are either
growing into plans or they're withering into regret.
Ooh.
And it's one of the two. There's no third option. You know the differences between a reason and an excuse?
Mm-mm.
You're right. There's no fucking difference. There's no difference when it comes to something that you actually care about. Almost always, your reason to not start or to quit is an excuse wearing fancy clothes. Almost always.
Okay, so I can't run the triathlon because I'm 44 and I have a 5-year-old son and I've never run a triathlon before. Those are all my reasons.
Yeah.
Those are all excuses.
Whole bunch of excuses.
Uh-huh.
And I had them. The moment that I first said I wanted to walk across America, it was a very unimportant moment. I said, I want to do that one day. What I know now is nobody gives a fuck about the thing you're going to do one day. Nobody cares because you're probably never going to do it. And even you know that.
The solar plexus is what blocks us from being able to clear issues in the past.
And how does one do that? How does one clear the emotions from the solar plexus?
You have to feel, every emotion that we didn't feel because we suppressed it, we denied its existence, we didn't want to feel it, is what accumulates in our solar plexus. So the way to resolve it is to go back and consciously remember those things that you have literally suppressed out of your memory and allow yourself to feel and release those emotions that are stuck. It could be a very painful, difficult process. But your soul, if it's on the journey towards this path, will tell you exactly where to go. And you'll start to remember those things that you literally suppressed completely out of your memory and are in full denial of. By touching the rungs on those ladders of emotional states that you never experienced, you will open up portals within you and clear the pathway to a new existence.
I'm so enthralled by pleasure as a concept because I ran from it for so much of my life, largely because of my religious teachings. And the pursuit of pleasure in your body is the experience of the masculine and feminine within yourself. And if you will begin to understand sensuality and sexuality and, in fact, human imagination in the context of that truth, that pleasure, ecstasy is the experience of that intercourse, the masculine and feminine within your own body. You will no longer look at your partner that you're relating to and say, well, I expect to give you this experience, or I expect this experience back from you.
You were supposed to complete me and you can't.
Yeah,
and so
you
I'm
can't
mad
pleasure
at you.
me, so this must not be, screw you. If you are not able to pleasure yourself into the highest vibrations through just your own awareness of self, no sensuality needed in the sense of touching, the sensuality of sensing yourself is the most pleasurable thing that will ever happen to you. And that's what happens when somebody dies and gets brought back into the body. What you are seeing in their eye is ecstatic pleasure of realizing they are whole and perfect and accepted and loved for the vibration of beauty that is within them.
When I was very young and I started going into the personal development world and hearing all these people, and it was actually Oprah. And I heard a quote from Oprah and she said, "You can have it all, just not all at once." And there was like this little rebel part of me that's like, why? Why not? Like, why? Why can I only have it in 1 or 2 areas of my life? Like, I don't get it. There was a part of me that was like, can you explain that? And she wasn't there, so she couldn't explain. I was reading a quote somewhere.
Hi.
Oprah, I have a question. Like, this quote on a Google image that I saw.
Yeah.
But I was like, why? And then I started reflecting deeper, and I saw it. I was like, oh my God, people have the relationships, but they're super broke. And then there's these people that have financial abundance, but their health is down the drain. And then there's other people that are super healthy, but they haven't got. Then I was like, I was just seeing it left, right, and center. My awareness started tuning into like these imbalances, right, in people's different areas of their life. And I was like, well, what if that's not true? Like, just what if it's not true? What if you can have it all at once? What if, yes, of course, what you focus on expands, and maybe if you're really fixated in one area, you can do that. But what if you were to holistically expand and upgrade and up-level every area of your life? What if my arm is actually not separate from my toe and my head? And what if we are a one complete holistic unit? Wouldn't it make sense that our life is also one complete whole holistic unit? And so I just started treating my life like that. And even if I was focused on, for example, manifesting money or something with my relationships or a health goal, I would always write and intend to manifest, and I still do, like, and may this ripple into every area of my life. Ooh. And let this upgrade every area of my life. And what I'm learning here with money, wow, I now see that codependency with money, that pattern. I can see it in my relationships. I see it with my family. And I would notice where it maps into other areas, and I would allow everything to elevate. And so I started creating proof in my life. Like, you know what? I don't want to be the girl that just like is really amazing at manifesting one thing. Like, what if it really could be your entire life? And the better it got, right? Like, just what if, right? And so I started like sitting and living in that frequency and playing with it. And then I would just say it, and the more I said it, I was like, wow, this is really like...
You would say, you really can't have it all, I really can't have it all?
Yeah, I would say it to myself, and then I would say it to other people, and then I'd mention it in conversation. It just kind of became a thing in my languaging. And then I realized, I was like, this is like a codex for abundance, because abundance does say you can have it all. Abundance doesn't say like, oh, you can have this, but not that. You can have this, but you have to trade that. Right? It's this old world model of scarcity where it's like a trade-off of one thing for the other. A contraction of like, yeah, you've got to work hard for this, but that's going to fall at this expense. And I had a lot of childhood conditioning. Even my parents would be like, look, honey, just focus on one thing and do one thing really well. I had all of this conditioning on the one thing. And I was like, I'm not a one thing kind of girl. Yeah. Like, I'm super multidimensional, multifaceted. I'm a creator. I'm an artist. I want to like go do that thing and then this thing and that thing. And someone else might perceive me as scattered. But what if that's like upgrading every area of my expression and my reality and my manifestation? So it came from that.
When I was quote unquote broke, I was rich. When I had nothing, I had everything. Everything.
Say more about that. When I have nothing, I have everything.
So one of the things that I got really early was that the universe, I'll call it God, can't separate itself. There are no borders. There's no places where it stops. And so wherever I am, God is. And therefore, and I do this with my clients all the time, I say, you know, when you're first working on being in ownership of your sacred being and really being in the practice of self-love, what I want you to do is every time you see something beautiful, right? Let's say you see a rainbow and you go, oh my God, that's so pretty. Right? You feel that and you say, I am that too. Right? You see a puppy, oh my God, it's so cute. I am that too. Because God can't separate itself. And so when I was coming up, I was wealthy because I had $1 million consciousness. I knew that whether I had a 7-bedroom mansion or a 70-foot square foot apartment, that I can only be in one space at a time, and that I can create prison or paradise depending on how I looked at it. And so the game was to find paradise everywhere I went. The game was to see the face of God everywhere I went. The game was to give from the overflow everywhere I went. And one of the key distinctions in all of this, because people will say, oh my God, this sounds awesome, but I'm like, not ready, I'm not ready. And I reminded myself back then, ready is not a feeling, it's a decision. And so I decided that it was possible, and poof, because the universe is a yes button. That's number 2, by the way.
The universe is a yes button.
Universe is a yes button, and the decision must occur before the universe can meet the yes. It's already meeting. It's meeting every single yes that we've ever had. Everything that's occurring right now in all of our lives is the universe, the law, right? It's not luck, it's law. It's not personal, it's principle, right? The principle gives no shits. It just says yes, right? So I'll give you one more example.
Yeah, great.
No shits. The law of gravity doesn't give a fuck what I put right here. It goes down.
You want this?
No, I don't want to break it, but, right? Like everything, the law doesn't care. The law doesn't care. That's the thing. I thought it was personal. I thought I'm special in my traumas and the things in my dad and the this and the wounds and the bullying and the sexual stuff and all. I'm special. I was not special. Neither are you and neither are you. None of us are special. The law just goes, I got you. What do you want? And so it is. What do you want? And so it is. But the wanting and the desiring, which we never get out of, does not come mainly from what we say. It's from what we allow in our space to sort of percolate. This is why I love what you're doing around pleasure, because sometimes in the manifestation world, people are like, oh, so I need to do a vision board and I need to have every detail. And I'm like, maybe. I don't necessarily do that. I just go, do your thing, God.
I have 4 planets in Scorpio. It's very death and rebirth. I'm also very Platonic. I have a lot of Pluto in my astrology chart. So it's constant death and rebirth. People call me the art of shape-shifting. Like I have a shapeshift all the time. Like I'm always changing form and my style, and it's because it's just who I am. I am supposed to die and be reborn over and over and over again within my life, and that's also what I invite within other people, specific people really close to me. And what's beautiful about that is quantum growth. And so because it's just who I've been, the death and the rebirth process is actually kind of normal for me now. It's just what I'm used to. And also what it means is that it doesn't allow anything inauthentic to exist for a long period of time once it's been detected. And it also means I can't get away with my own bullshit. There's not this, that I know of, an unconscious thing that is constantly looping, that is draining my life force energy, or that is creating triggers where I'm blaming the outside world and keeping myself in a loop. I detect it pretty early on. I have a method of people, situations, containers that I place myself in to get immediate reflections of what it is that I may not see, to integrate it in real time and then become more of myself, because ultimately those unconscious loops hold your power. And I personally came here to play a big game. And I know you did too. And so when you see it, that your power is sitting there, why would you not be like the bison and face the storm? Because you know that you're going to be stronger on the other side. It's not even a knowing, it's just a way of life. It just is. It's just how we operate, or how I operate. And so, yes, there is a death and a rebirth. And simultaneously, when you understand astrology of the gene keys is such an incredible tool to know yourself. And when I've started studying my astrology, then I understand the different cycles and the natures of what it is that I'm going through. And then I face it head on like the bison, and then come out a more refined, more invigorated, more aligned version of myself. And that means that I can serve from that place, because I believe that when somebody is a teacher, their wisdom only lands when the words are embodied.
I say that the body wants to create.
Yeah.
That is the nature of the body.
Yeah.
Both in a sexual sense, but also in a creative sense. If you look at the human body and the human vessel and what it's for and what it's designed to do, it is designed to create.
Yeah.
Because we have these things like intuition, which is like connects us to another portal to other dimensions. We have imagination that can conjure worlds that don't exist. You know, these are natural abilities that we have. And we have our brains, which can take these insights and strategize them into a plan and start to craft, something. And then we have these amazing hands. Like, we take for granted these hands that we have and these 5 fingers and these thumbs. These thumbs are a miracle of nature. Most animals do not have thumbs, and the thumbs allow us to do so much with that other animals can't do. It's an amazing tool.
Right.
So we're designed to make things. And even our vocal cords are there to express and to emote and to sing and to read poetry, etc. So I really feel like the body is designed to create. And I think that the creative impulse and the sexual impulse are the same. You know, the spirit of creation moves through us. You know, we are vessels for the spirit of creation. The same life force that created the solar system, that fuels the sun. You know, that is the life force that moves through us. And we are vessels to manifest that creative energy into the 3rd dimension in whatever that we do, whether it's creating children, whether it's creating events and, food,
sculpture,
or art.
My theme right now is to manifest through rest. You know, rest is a nice 4-letter word.
If you want to teach that course, I will sign up. Manifest through rest.
Yeah, so I'm really exploring that right now.
Ooh.
Just resting, being in the cut, but at the same time allowing the next great vision and version of me and whatever I'm supposed to be about to emerge without trying to make it happen, which I don't really do anyway, but just more a deep undulation of rest, but at the same time allowing the next version to emerge. Yeah.
And do you ever do that just quite practically as a sleep practice? Like hold your visions as you're moving into sleep?
Yes. And when I wake up in the morning and when I go to sleep at night. Yeah, I have things that I read. I have it's grown to about 18 things I have them on my phone. But
Really?
There's it's personal, it's family.
And these are dreams that you've written for yourself?
These are community. Yeah, I've synthesized them into little statements.
Okay.
And so as I'm going to sleep, I just read it. And then I'll go to sleep with that. And when I wake up in the morning, most mornings, not every morning, but most mornings, I'll wake up and I'll just read it. So it goes into my subconscious. You know?
I would love to adopt this. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That feels like such a powerful practice. And is that part of your life visioning? Is that what you would teach in life visioning?
I teach it, not necessarily part of life visioning, but there's a state called the hypnagogic state, that state between sleep and awake. And so you can really program yourself in that state.
Well, that's what we're going in Ziva. Like that's this exact state we go into in Ziva meditations, which is why we manifest at the end of that, because you're still in that in-between, in that liminal space.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's necessary. And a lot of people, their mind will rush into their day too fast.
Yep.
They'll jump right on social media or the news or something.
Yeah.
Something that they habitually do. But if you can just break it for a few moments. Yeah. And while you're still sleepy.
And
plug
in.
And it changes you.
I just was with a friend over New Year's, and he said that every morning before he opens his eyes, he smiles.
Oh, that's great.
And I thought that was such a sweet, simple practice. And sometimes I forget, but I'm like, I close them back real fast, and I just smile.
I do that, and it's more unconscious. It's like I'm happy. However, the biology of that is the moment you smile, your body chemistry changes. Yeah. You start to produce tonic chemicals. Your immune system is enhanced. The coherence of the brain happens. The aging process slows down just from a smile.